So, welcome to the U Show. It's called the U Information Show, and also known as another name. So, today we're going to be discussing a few different topics. But before we start, and before I head into the studio, I'd like to tell you a few things. The first thing I need to tell you is that we're produced through the facilities of Staten Island Community Television. You're just tuning into the beginning of our show. And we're taping this show in March 2017. And one of the things you should know is that the opinions expressed on this show are not those of staff management, and everything is copyrighted. So that's what's happening. So if you want to see our show, it's on Saturdays at 12:30, Channel 34, Spectrum, Time Warner, and Verizon. And there are many other places you can see the show. And right now, we're going to head into the studio right now. So, it's not a very long walk. The reason I have this book up there is because I'm probably going to tell you a few good things about the good life. So what do you think is the good life? What do you consider the good life? I just realized something. I forgot something in the control room. So, by the way, we're looking for a producer to do some switching. We want to make sure that everything is okay for the show. Everything is okay. We've got everything set. Heading back. Okay, so we need a producer, sort of like a technical director, someone to do some switching in the studio. Switching, a few buttons here and there. To put up the titles, to put up the said disclaimer, and to put up, some things on the screen. Oh, let's take this backpack off. That's a good thing about a backpack is you never forget it anywhere. So it's always on your back. So how are you this morning? And what are you feeling like? How's your day been? How's your week been? I'm going to recommend a few books. And one of them I really love. I bought this book many, many years ago. And I think I gave a copy to one of my grandkids. And it's called Be Happy. And the weird thing is, if you go on Facebook or if you go other places online and you look for this book, it just doesn't show up. I don't know why, but it's like a real book. It was available at the bookstores. I'm guessing at the libraries, too. But it's called Be Happy, so I'm going to give you, the author's name is Monica Sheehan. It's Monica Sheehan. It's by Running Press. And what I love about the book is that it's a pocket-sized book. It's not a 500-page book. And it's kind of cool. So I'm going to recommend the book called Be Happy. And one of my most favorite books called the Quick Ref Owner's Manual. And you might say, what's that about? It's about everything. This little book, unbelievable as this little book is 816 pages. 816 pages. And that's why you're able to get all these topics in this tiny little book. I'm going to read you a few. It really is a good reference book. They start out with, and these are just some of the things, 800 pages packed with information for everything, everyone in life. We have diet and fitness, travel, money, and finance, history, sports, time management, mind mapping, goal setting, law, philosophy, leadership, real estate, feng shui, security, weights and measures, timelines, goals, test taking, first aid, negotiation, diner etiquette, yeah, we could use some of that, facts and figures and reference, completely indexed, and much, much more. It's all in that little book, the Quick Reference Owner's Guide. It's a good book to have in your pocket when you're waiting for something and you need something to read. And the reason it's a good book is because it has so many topics. You get tired of reading one thing, you flip to the next chapter. Open the book at random. And what do you have? Wow, diagrams and illustrations. I forgot to bring the water today, but it's right there on the table, so it's in reach. Let me see, what did I open up to? I happened to open up randomly to the industrial building features. This is kind of cool if you're into architecture or real estate or buildings or property. It actually has a very detailed drawing of industrial building features, starting with freeway access to lighting to truck access to ample parking to blah, 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 and all that stuff. Sounds boring, but if you're into that topic, it's not boring. And the other thing the book has, it has things about all the different religions and spiritualities, and it's got things about civilization as we know it. And it has military ranks. Yes, there's some things in there for veterans also. You know what? These lights are really, really hot. It's probably why my face is pink. Excuse me. Hold up 1 minute. I must go and get water. Really, really hot. Take the jacket off. Oh, okay. So we have a low neck. See? Oh, yeah, I'm going to do this. First time on national TV. I lost weight. Check this out. See? Yeah, I think I'll leave the jacket on till I have a more presentable. I said I think I'll leave the jacket on till I have a more presentable blouse on underneath. But yes, I did lose weight. And yes, it was totally intentional. Was totally intentional. I've been trying to lose weight for, 40 years? Who knows? 50 years. Long time. And there are times in my life when I've been able to do it and gained the weight back again. But I think we're onto a permanent solution now because I think a large part of my weight was the weight of a bully. Meaning I got rid of the bully. So got rid of the weight of the bully. Eliminated a bully out of my life. And then I was able to be relaxed enough and comfortable enough to actually begin losing weight again. And hopefully this will be the last time I will have to attempt to lose weight. So I figure I can lose another 25 pounds. And that should do it. So I want to tell you about a magazine. Tell me if you've seen this. They used to have it at the bookstore. And I've been looking in the bookstore for quite a while and haven't seen it. So I don't know if you've seen it. Last time I seen it was years and years ago. It is a book called, yes, hold the phone, Going Bonkers. Is a book called Going Bonkers. And that's got Deepak Chopra on the beginning, on the title. And in this particular episode of the magazine, it says, Deepak Chopra, harness the healing of the power of the mind. If you learn to live in the balance from the deepest level, our health and potential have no foreseeable limits. That's what Deepak says. And some of the other articles in this particular episode of Going Bonkers. Free to love, awakening your capacity for loving relationships. Appreciate yourself for who you really are, increasing your self-esteem. And the beginning of 1,000 years of peace, and a few other articles. And that's in a magazine called Going Bonkers, which I've not been able to find for years. So I'm guessing that we might be able to write to the company and get it directly to the company, but so far the bookstores and the libraries don't have it. But it was a very good magazine. Excellent. Should I talk about... Yes, I came into the studio today. Oh, I have to keep the speech level. I was talking loud, and I cannot lower my voice now because otherwise you'll have a problem hearing me. There's no one out there, out in the control room to switch. Okay, so let's get to the problem at hand. The most important thing at this time. You're watching television. I am in the process of producing a television show. And I have a call out for a producer to do something like technical direction. Actually, it's sitting in the control room, switching the titles on, switching the titles off. It's pretty simple. Nothing fancy. Although if you have something fancy up your sleeve, I'm willing to look at it. So we'll need somebody to actually, technically, we don't really need someone. We would like someone. Yes, I'd like someone to do some of the switching for this show so that I don't have to walk into the control room to do the switching. So if you do that kind of thing and you're a certified producer at the studio, contact us. The email is theushow@outlook.com. Thank you. Yeah, somebody gave me this jacket, kind of jacket shirt. Segue into Thanksgiving. I have a lot of things this year to be grateful for. I've had a few tough years, a few rough years. And ever since I put the bully out of my life, I've been, having things go a little bit better. Things changing in positive ways. Hopefully, and they'll keep changing in positive ways. And I've seen a lot of earthly angels. Not, angels like you see angels with wings. I've seen a lot of earthly angels, human beings, who have good hearts and good spirits. And they're just wonderful people. And who knows, maybe one day they might want to be on the show. You never know. You never know. Talking about gratitude. Oh, no. I just realized something. I did not set the timer. Okay, so that's another reason I need somebody. Okay, instead of somebody to help the show, I need somebody to help on the show. Because I did not set the timer. Let's see how many minutes we have. 2:49. Let's see, 12:50. Okay, so we have about 12:57, 12:50. It's been about 13 minutes into the show. Okay, so it's been about 13 minutes into the show. I will set this timer. Pardon that. Please stay still. Stay there. Hold on a minute. So 12, 13, 14, about 14 minutes. I'll set the timer for another 14 minutes, and that should do it. Let's see, stop, reset, preset. Down. Okay. So now we're cooking with gas. That should do it. So now I just went into the control room and set the timer. So I guess what this show is about, how to do a show. Be prepared ahead of time. Come in with a list. Write down the things you're supposed to do if you don't remember them. And then you don't have to do this. Come back and forth between the studio and the control room. Okay. So the timer's set pretty much as it's going to be set. And get back to gratitude. I guess. What are you grateful for? What are the things in your life that make you happy? What are the things in your life that you do appreciate? Who are the people that you appreciate? What are the things that make life easier for you? And who are the people that make life easier for you? Or do you make some life easier for someone else? Are you one of God's earthly angels? I think one of the things that I really do appreciate is that I have the possibility and the capability or the space and the time to produce a television show, even on days when I really don't have a serious topic. In the process of inviting a few people to the show, we have a few guests coming up. Not now in this particular episode, but we have guests coming up in the future. We have a few guests who want to speak about the Bible. One gentleman, which I spoke with about 2 months ago or 3 months ago, said yes, he'd like to be on the show, discussing a few things, the Torah and the Bible. And yes, I was neglectful and did not contact that person to make the appointment, so he's not on the show yet. So that's on the to-do list. And there are a few other people who want to talk about different topics. We have another person who wants to talk about the power of music, which I think that was a pretty good show. If you saw that show, if you didn't see that show, you can go to YouTube and check us on YouTube and see the show that we did about the power of music. And we did that show with a lady who is a wonderful singer and entertainer, performer. And her name is Barbara. And that I really enjoyed doing that show. It was kind of cool. So go to YouTube to see that one, The Power of Music. We've done other shows where we've actually gone out to the New York State Fair and to some other festivals. And what other shows have we done? We've done topics of, how-to topics. We did one show where we went to an art exhibit where we showed people's art, people's paintings. And that, I think, was a couple of years ago. So pretty much we do any shows. We'll do shows about diet and fitness. We'll do shows about law, about philosophy. Here's an interesting thing about the law. And you'll have to do a little research, do the Google, and do the update on it. I'm going to tell you what happened, what you were able to do a number of years ago, which you're probably able to do now, but you probably need a little bit more identification. If you're a resident of the city or whatever, you could go and do legal research right in the Supreme Court Law Library. Yeah. And back then, at the time, all you didn't need was a picture identification, like a driver's license or I guess like government identification. And you could go in and avail yourself to all of the thousands of law books that were in the Supreme Court Law Library. Update on that, do the Google, find out what you need to do if you want to do some legal research. And no, at the time, you did not have to be a law student, and you did not have to be anybody. You just have to be a resident of the city. So find out what the updated information on that is if you want to do some research. The other magazine that I was going to show is this one. I'm going to bring it to the camera. I will bring it to the camera so you can see it. The best home and yard products, Consumer Reports, actually. It's a book about Consumer Reports. I highly recommend Consumer Reports magazine. This particular issue focuses on mowers and tractors and Motorola Zoom tablets and road test cars and dish detergents. So speaking about home and yard products, there's one home and yard, actually it's a yard product which I can recommend because I could say I've actually used. They have something called the jaw saw. Yeah, the jaw saw. And it's about like 4 feet tall. And it has like, a trap like this so the wood would go in the middle like that. And with the jaw saw, you could, if you're not, a professional, you could cut up pieces of wood about so big. So if you have branches or limbs or things around the yard, you want to cut up your Christmas tree. I saw the jaw saw originally on a commercial. And I thought it was amazing because they chopped up this big Christmas tree. And they fit it into a garbage can. And I thought, yeah, that's pretty quick, and that doesn't really look like it would really do that. Does that really work? So in the interest of Consumer Reports, this is my Consumer Report to you. I've used the jaw saw, and it worked. I've actually cut up pretty good limbs from the trees, personal trees, not street trees. As you know, you're not supposed to cut street trees. But since we're on the topic of street trees, let me tell you about the street trees and streets and trees program, or trees and streets program, or streets and trees program. Whatever, you go to the Department of Parks and look. If you have these magnificent trees on the sidewalk outside, they're like 50 feet or more, whatever, the very large trees. If they are bringing up the sidewalk, and where you have the concrete buckling from the street trees, from the roots of those street trees, did you know that you can have that concrete done for free? Yeah. So you can have some concrete like on the side of your house, and there could be big buckles from the concrete that are coming from the roots of the large trees. And if it really is coming from that, this particular program will send out an inspector, will mark the area, and they will come and redo the concrete for free. And the only catch is it has to be that the roots of the tree is what's bringing the concrete up. It just can't be that you have broken concrete that's from something else. That doesn't work. But if it's the roots of a tree, they will send out the inspector and they'll check it and they will mark it. And the whole process takes about, I think for one person, there was one lady that did it, and it took about 6 months. From the time that they put in the report, from the time they sent the inspector, from the time that they actually broke the sidewalk and put a brand new sidewalk down, free, no charge, it was approximately 6 months or so. Of course, nothing is guaranteed. So go online, do the Google. One day I'll bring the computer in and we'll do this online, and we'll do the searches online. We'll give you like a mini computer lesson. And we'll show you how to get those concretes fixed for free if you qualify. And that's the whole thing. You got to qualify. It has to be damage that's done by the street tree roots. And if you look around, there's a lot of that going around somewhere. You know, like if you walk around your neighborhood, you can see that large tree, and you look down and you see the root, and it goes under the concrete, and all of a sudden that little concrete is like buckled up. So there, from that we got to the home and garden things. Oh, 4 minutes and 57 seconds. If my timing is right, I don't know. Talking about gratitude, yeah. I am very glad to be here. I have hair sticking out all over here, even though I've got my hat on. I'm very glad to be here. I'm very glad to be able to speak on the show, and I'll be glad to have you as a guest. If you want to contact us, write to the youshow@outlook.com. Oh, check this out. I have to go out to the control room. Hold on a minute. Don't go anywhere. Don't go anywhere. I just want you to see this. Produced through the facilities of Staten Island Community Television. There you go. There you go. That's when we're on, Saturdays at 12:30. This is the other information that you need to see. And if you'd like to see some of the photography, go to artfromperry.wordpress.com. I think it's artfromperry.wordpress.com, where you can see all the photography, the collage, the paintings, or whatever. And now we'll head back to where we were and let you know that we are producing this in March 2017, and you'll probably see it in March, maybe in April also. Maybe a year from now also. You never know. Sometimes the show repeats. You never know. So there's our email. I put it on the screen so you could see it. If you're a new producer, we'd love to have you help on the show. I'm sure you could do this job. It's pretty easy. Putting titles up, doing a little bit of that technical work. And even if you're a new producer and you'd like to be on the show, you'd like to host a show, you'd like to come and talk on the show, we'll sit down at a table, talk about topics. We cover pretty much any topics from A to Z. And we might do that too. Yeah, so contact us. theyouShow@outlook.com. And since I don't have help today, I can actually fix that so that I can run it automatically. If I set up some time to come in and do graphics some other day, I can set up the graphics where I can run the graphics automatically and I can run the titles automatically. I do have a capability of doing that. But I'd much rather have a live person in there helping if that's possible. So, contact theyouShow@outlook.com. I don't really have anything important to say today, and I guess you kind of figured that out from this show. This is really shows the pits today, right? Nah. I think it's always good, and you can never have too much talk about gratitude. I want to thank you. Thank you for watching. Thank you for checking out artfromperry.wordpress.com for the artwork and the photography. You probably will see some of the photojournalism on that site. Also go to Flickr. On Flickr, you can see artfromperry.wordpress.com. You might see our news photos and things like that in the past. I have 1 minute and 12 seconds to say thank you to God. Yes, I said the G word. I said, it's like 29 minutes. I'd have to say God at least once or twice, because without God, I wouldn't be able to be here. And my God is Jesus Christ. Who's yours? And would you like to talk about your God on air? Contact us. Send us an email. We'll send you the phone number. We'll have a phone conversation and set you up with all the information. And yes, back into the control room to show you one of our favorite peaceful scenes. That was taken in Pennsylvania. So we're produced through the facilities of Staten Island Community Television.